Greeting to everyone. In this lessons, we are going to learn overview of prose writers and works in modern age. We are going to learn about the modern age prose writers and their works. Modernist literature was predominantly English genre of fiction writing, popular from roughly the 1910 into 1960. Modernist literature came into its own due to increasing industrialization and globalization. New technology and horrifying events of both world wars made many people question the future of humanity, what was becoming of the world. So now we are going to learn about the modern prose writers, characteristics of modern prose writers. Writers reacted to these questions by turning towards modernistic sentiment. Gone was the romantic period that focused on nature and being. Modernistic fiction spoke of the inner self and the consciousness. Instead of progress, the modernist writers saw a decline of civilization. Instead of new technology, the modernist writers saw cold machinery and increased capitalism, which made individual to feel loneliness. To get the emotion described above, most modernist fiction was cast in the first person. Even though most literature had a clear beginning, middle, and an end, the modern story was often more of the stream of consciousness. Especially irony, satire, and comparison were often employed in this modern period, modern literatures. For the first time modernist reader, this can all add up to feel like a story is going nowhere. Some modernist famous for modernist writers are Samuel Beckett, James Joyce, Joseph Conrad, T.S. Eliot, William Faulkner, John Steinbeck, Cummings, Ernest Hemingway, Virginia Woolf, Lauren, Gertrude Stein, Gertrude Stein. From the above list, two specific works that epitomize modernist literature are Faulkner, As I Lay Dying, and Virginia Woolf, Mrs. Dalby. Writers reacted to the question by turning towards modernist sentiment. Modernist fiction spoke of inner self and consciousness. They saw the decline of civilization. Important literary works by modern age writers' works. Joseph Conrad, Heart of Darkness, is the famous work in the modern age period. It was published in three installments in Blackwood magazine in 1899 and then in book form in 1902. This novel examines the evil of Belgian imperialism in Africa, but also interrogates the very nature of storytelling itself and all that comes with it, whether truth, trust, the reliability of language to convey one's own experience. T.S. Eliot was the famous modernist writer. His Wasteland also a very famous work. This 1922 long poem features in our Picks of Eliot best poem and is one of the landmark works of modernist literature. In this poem, T.S. Eliot draws on personal experience, his first marriage, his knowledge of London, his convalescence, but transmute it in something universe and in his world. In this world. T.H. Lawrence Ticket Please. It was written during World War One and focusing on the men and women who work on the terms in Nottingham. Ticket Please examines the shifting gender roles in the early 20th century and the latent desires, impulses which Freudian psychoanalysis had lain bare. Yes, Yersa Pound. And is writing in a station of metro. Like T.S. Eliot, Esther Fund was born in the United States but moved to Europe. Europe and London as a young man. His two most famous works are among the longest and shortest in canonical English literature. It's one of the defining poem of Imagist movement in modern poetry, which would pave the way for later, more ambitious works such as Eliot's The Wasteland, the love song of Alfred Prufrock, which, although not Imagist, reflect some of the central principle of Imagism. James Joyce Ulysses. Published in the Annals Macrobius of Modernism, Ulysses is Joyce's masterpiece. It's also one of the best modernist novels ever written. The novel is retelling Homer's epic poem Odyssey about great hero Odysseus, written home from the Trojan War. Finally, as a summary, the rise of modern prose style brings to bear on style severe critical methods. It's an inquiry based on the author through knowledge of both primary sources and modern debate. A fully explorative and well unattacked test, Robert Aldo books will appeal not only to 17th century specialists but to historians of both language and literature as a whole. Thank you.